Hi, welcome to another Worship Wednesday. I hope everyone's doing well, and I don't know about anyone else, but I'm glad it's finally starting to warm up just a little bit. The idea I had for today has actually been something I've been working on for a couple of weeks as far as things I've been reading. It's about fear. And for me, my fear and my tendency to worry kind of go hand in hand. Things that I'm fearful of being a good wife, fearful of being a good stepmom, fearful of everything right now, wondering if we'll ever get back to what used to be normal. I really, really hope that we don't always have to go around wearing masks and worrying about getting sick or worrying about getting anyone else sick, and just being able to see somebody at the store that I'm friends with and being able to give them a hug. I would love to know if we're ever going to be able to get back to that. Fearful of my husband's business. If you don't know my husband, he owns his own business, and wondering if that, if there will ever be a day where maybe it doesn't work out and we have a summer where no one rents from us. That would be crazy. But point being that I do have a tendency to worry and have fear of things that, once again, I have no control over. I've finished this a while ago, but you guys will remember I was reading Run the Race by Caine, and she has a section in here that actually speaks to that very well. Do you hear the whispers of the enemy? What if, what if, what if? It's important to recognize that voice so that you know a trial when you face one. Instead, listen to God's voice. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind, from 2 Timothy 1:7. The moment you taste fear, focus on the good news that you've just seen the territory where your faith is about to grow. When you learn to see areas of fear as places where trust is about to grow, fear gives way to courage. And I remember, like I said, I read that. It was maybe about a week and a half ago. And that's kind of what sparked today's topic. This is something that everyone deals with in some form, one way or another. But to see fear as territory where your faith is about to grow is a great thing to focus on. And I've talked about that before too, where during this time where I've been doing these is learning where to keep my focus. A couple of nights ago, my family and I were able to watch for the second time I Still Believe, which, if you haven't seen it, you should, or even better, in my opinion, is to read the book. And they've re-released the book with a new cover to go with the movie. But they take liberties with the movie. The book is the full and fantastic story. But Melissa, I think, is a good example of this in what she went through. I'm sure she was fearful, but she found a way to have courage that God was going to use that situation in a very positive way for everybody, to look at her story and to see faith. So I would encourage you to see the movie, or even better, read the book. Along with focus, in 1 John, if I can get there, 4:18, he says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear." And I wrote on my notes, focus with an arrow pointing right to that, because when we have those fearful times, that's when we need to focus on his love and what he has for us. My new book that I'm reading right now is by the lead singer of Big Daddy Weave, called I Am Redeemed by Mike Weaver. And I'm about halfway through. It's very good so far. But it talks a lot about how he grew up and, different things that he dealt with. And I found that I really love reading stuff like that, reading the stories behind these people that inspire me with their lives or their music. But a verse that he mentioned in one of his chapters, that's a good thing to remember as far as focus, is from Proverbs 19, verse 21. There are many plans in a man's heart, nevertheless the Lord's counsel, that will stand. And in some versions it'll say the Lord's plans as opposed to man's plans. But that's something that I have to remind myself of when I have fearful moments, that God has a plan. God has a plan for me as a wife. God has a plan for me as a stepmom. God has a plan in this crazy stuff that's happening right now. He has a plan for it. It's gonna work towards something to give him glory. And so I have to remind myself of that quite a bit. It seems like we're getting closer and closer to possibly coming back to normal. So I would just encourage you to remember that there is a greater plan in all of this. And the song that I thought of sharing is one of my favorite hymns. It always has been, partly because of the story behind it. And I always love to find the stories behind songs that are written. And the writer of this hymn wrote this after a period of, it didn't seem like very many years. I don't have exact dates, but I think it was just a period of 3 or 4 years. He had lost his son, lost 4 daughters, and had also experienced financial hardship, and had lost quite a bit of investment that he had. And he wrote this hymn, and it's a great one to remember when you're feeling fearful or worrying about things, that God's got it. And it is called "It Is Well With My Soul." When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul, it is well with my soul, it is well with my soul. And I would encourage you, if you need it, just to listen to that whole song on repeat and just say that to yourself, it is well with my soul. And just remember that God's got this, and there's a reason behind all of it, and he can use it for good. So I hope everyone is having a great week, and we have beautiful weather coming our way. And I miss everybody, and I hope to see all of you soon.